Hi everyone, I'm Karen, and today I'm talking wellness with Veronica Connors. Veronica is a certified spiritual life coach, a certified mastery teacher, and a meditation teacher. She also has co-authored Soul Steps, which was the #1 hot new release on Amazon and made the best-seller list of top 100 books in the first couple of months in that category. So welcome, Veronica. We're really excited to have you here today.
Thank you, Karen. I'm so excited to be here, and I have a really cool model I want to share with you about how our thoughts create our emotions, so I can't wait to do it.
Emotional and mental health is a big part of the spiritual coaching and the self-mastery work that you do. So can you walk us through our topic for today, which is weight loss, and give us an understanding of how our emotions and our thoughts create our outcomes?
Absolutely. And you mentioned self-mastery, and being a self-mastered person means that you create an ability, because we all have the opportunity to create this responsibility in ourselves, to gain control over your mind so that you can go beyond your external circumstances. And when you learn to go beyond your external circumstances, you learn to think and feel better. And as a result, you get better outcomes in your life. So I'm going to walk you through this model. This is kind of a reduced, a short model, quick model that everyone can learn. And in coaching, we kind of expand on it a bit to help you look at some of your programming. But everyone can learn to use this. And when you do, you become more conscious. You see how the things that you're thinking really are affecting your emotions. And the emotions that you create in the body really are causing you to either move in a positive or a negative direction. And then that direction that you move in, then that causes an outcome in your life. So let's walk your viewers through it. And
I'm really excited.
Yeah, I think they're going to find it really useful.
I'm dying to hear about this.
Excellent. So as you said, like we're just coming off the Christmas break, and a lot of people have overindulged a little in drink or some extra sweets, or maybe you're an emotional eater and you turn to that form of pushing uncomfortable emotions away in order to cope with your day-to-day life, perhaps.
A lot of us do.
Yeah, and I'm definitely an emotional eater too, and I have been. And or maybe you just this is something you've been dealing with for a while, and you really want to really learn how to manage your weight. And it starts with managing your mind. And I also teach a weight loss program, but I call it weight loss for the body, the mind, and emotions, because the most important weight loss of all is weight loss of the negative thinking that we have in our mind that leads to other kinds of weight loss. So I'll start the model. We'll work through the model.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So basically, we're going to choose weight as a circumstance, and perhaps excess weight as a circumstance. So whatever circumstance we are viewing in our life, it then triggers thoughts. So let's just throw around some thoughts that we would have because of our excess weight. I don't think I have the willpower to, go back at the gym and get back at eating
so hard
well.
to do. Yeah. It's so hard to do. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of discipline, and I just don't want to throw that into my everyday life.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Perfect examples. So let's choose one of those thoughts, and we're going to walk it through the model. So our circumstance is excess weight. And we're going to show how it doesn't matter what the circumstance is, it's a thought that creates the outcome. So excess weight causes us to think some thoughts. We're going to choose one, and I think I just wrote one down so I could stay on track. My weight keeps going up. My thought is, and you want to have one thought, because a thought is a sentence that you think in your head. And this model requires you to work through one thought. So you can see what that one thought creates emotionally and then creates in your actions and your outcome. So stick to one thought. So our thought today is going to be, my weight keeps going up. So when I have the thought, my weight keeps going up, well, how do I feel? My weight keeps going up. It makes me feel kind of sad. What do you feel when you think that?
Sort of hopeless, like it's not within me to fix this. I don't feel I have it.
Powerless, excellent. Yeah, so sad, hopeless, powerless. And what kind of action, what kind of behavior do you take around weight when you're feeling sad? Well, if you're an emotional eater, I'm feeling sad. I don't like that uncomfortable feeling. So now I'm going to go have some quick hits of chocolate to get that dopamine little hit in the brain that makes my body feel a little happy momentarily. An action could be I go and emotional overeat. I eat some chocolate or I eat some things that I wouldn't normally eat because I'm not really hungry. But the sadness, I want to push that away, so I'm going to eat. Make sense?
So you're starting a cycle now.
Yeah, absolutely. A cycle. And when you don't make this all conscious, we stay in that cycle. And we are making this conscious now. And that's one of the things that the program can do, that this model can do. It can teach you to keep your thoughts conscious enough that you gain control over your conscious mind.
Wow.
Yeah, you can reprogram your thinking with this, and we're going to show you how it works.
Perfect.
So now I'm going to just review because I want to keep it all straight. The circumstances is excess weight. The thought is my weight keeps going up. When I think this thought, I'm feeling sad, hopeless, powerless. When I'm feeling sad, I tend to turn, if you're an emotional eater, turn to the chocolate and eat some excess chocolate perhaps. And then what is the result when you eat more calories than you need?
Well, you're going to feel guilty again. Yeah. And you're just going to feel defeated. So you're going to lose that willpower that you just made a decision on. Well, I'm going to watch things or watch what I eat, but
And what's the direct result? Because this is how it can get tricky sometimes. So we're looping back to other feelings now. And then when we feel that, what do? We probably go eat again. And now what is the result? What's the outcome? When we feel bad, we eat. We feel bad, we eat. We feel bad, we eat. What happens to our weight?
Oh, our weight keeps going up.
And our weight keeps going up. So do you see how the end result actually proves the thought that we started with? Our thought was, my weight keeps going up.
Mm-hmm.
Our end result was, my weight keeps going up. So we are proving our thought pattern, and we actually are proving something that we believe.
Okay, so now what do we do then?
Yeah, now we move to the good part. This is the good part. So you want to examine your thoughts, and this is what the model teaches you to do. You don't have to let your life be run by your thought patterns. You don't have your life to be run by your emotions. We can get control of those two major processes because they are there for us. Our thoughts are there for us to use. Our emotions are there for us to take something from them and then move forward. We're not meant to stay in this looping. We're not meant to stay in the looping of the emotions in the body either. And that's what most of us do. So by using this model, we're going to switch that around. So we're going to look at the thought, which was, my weight keeps going up. Now we're going to look at that. Is it true? Is that true, Karen? If you were going through this, does your weight always keep going up?
Oh, yeah, no, it doesn't keep going up. I just assume that about myself.
Right. So it doesn't keep going up. Sometimes it stays the same. Sometimes it goes down, and sometimes it goes up. So already, just by looking at that, asking ourselves, is that true? We already say, no, it's not true. I already said sometimes it stays the same and sometimes it goes down. So we're actually telling ourselves a lie by saying that thought. So we want to switch it to a more truthful thought and a more positive thought.
So how do we do that?
Let's do it. So now I want you to think about, okay, if my friend or daughter or younger person, because we tend to be more gentle with a younger person, if they said that thought to me, Veronica, Karen, I'm so frustrated, I'm so sad, my weight is always going up. What might you say to them?
I guess I would try to make them feel a little better and say, oh my goodness. Well, maybe I'd even lie a little bit and say, oh my gosh, you're beautiful, you look great. Oh, I just love you the way you are. Rather than face them on and say, well, my dear, you're going to be dead in 20 years.
Right. Because the truth is, if we're looking at the truth, they are beautiful. Right? You can find your beauty in your friends so easily. You can find your beauty in your child so easily. They are powerful. They have the ability to change their life. We all do. I would say something just like you're saying, look at you. You're beautiful. You're powerful. You're intelligent. You have the power to decide which way your weight goes. And I'm going to show you how to do it. How do we move to a more empowered situation? So, it's not true what we just said. And speak to a younger person to make it more gentle. You're beautiful. You're powerful. You can do this. You have the ability. And now we're going to choose a slightly better thought. It can be a lot better or it can be totally the opposite if that
So what are some
feels.
examples then?
So some examples.
Give me some examples.
As we were saying to our young person, I am powerful. I do have the ability to decide which way my weight goes. I am beautiful. I am able to affect the direction of my weight. I was lying to myself. I can tell myself a more truthful sentence. Like my weight doesn't always go up. That could be your next thought. My weight is not always going up. Sometimes my weight stays the same. Then that creates a new feeling in the body and a new action, and then you get a new result. But I have chosen one that we're going to follow today, if it's okay with you.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Go
the
ahead.
circumstance is still the same. Excess weight. But now we're going to choose a positive thought. And the thought we're going to choose is, I am powerful. I decide which way my weight goes. When I say that, it makes me feel like, yeah, I think I can do it. If you said that to yourself, what do you feel in the body now?
Well, I just feel more hopeful. And I feel that maybe it's a little more doable.
Absolutely. You're taking a small step. So before you said you were feeling hopeless, and now just a small shift in our thinking, we're feeling hopeful. I feel more powerful. I feel strong. So now when you're feeling hopeful, powerful, and strong, what kind of action do you take or behavior do you have around your emotional eating? So if I'm like just gliding past the thoughts, I won't think about the thought I'm having. I'll just go and get the chocolate because I want it. If I'm feeling more powerful and more in control of my situation and thinking a thought like, I have control whether my weight goes up or down, I have control whether I shed those 5 pounds that I gained over Christmas, then I feel like, yeah, I'm not going to have that chocolate. I think I'll have yogurt instead or an apple instead. Or I'm not really even hungry. What we teach in self-mastery is, what are you feeling? And then when we go into that feeling and process the feeling, because you weren't actually feeling hungry, you were feeling an emotion. And we would process the emotion before that came up with emotional eating.
So if you get this sudden feeling that, oh God, there's a piece of cake in the fridge, and I'd love to have that.
Yes.
You have to recognize and you have to stop and question yourself. That's the key. So
yes.
you would say, well, am I really hungry? And
yes, actually, that's a tool we teach in that program. There is definite specific tools that you would teach with that impulse eating. And just to keep it simple today, because we're going to teach that another time,
I know.
we will stay with this model because we don't want to lose the track of how the model actually creates the results in your life.
Okay.
So we have the same circumstance. Our overweight or our weight keeps going up. Our thoughts, we change it from my weight keeps going up to I am powerful. I have control of which direction my weight goes. Then we felt more hopeful, we felt stronger, we felt maybe more conscious of the emotional eating is what I feel comes up for me when I think I can do this. I'm more conscious. I'm in control here, not that food. And then the action we take would be, well, I would say sometimes we probably start choosing not to engage in the emotional eating. And what would be the result on your weight when you decide even sometimes not to engage in emotional eating?
So you're going to start to lose weight, and that's going to be the beginning of the whole motivational process. I'm thinking.
Absolutely, you're exactly right. So the result then, because I chose a different thought, I felt a different feeling, and now I have more conscious awareness of my action. Now I get a different result, which, as you said, my weight probably goes down, at least stays the same, or probably goes down. So the thing about this model is, if you have a negative thought and you follow it all the way through this thought causes a feeling, causes an action, causes a result in my life, you're going to get a negative result. If you choose a positive, conscious thought, which is what this teaches you to do, to examine your thoughts, examine your outcomes, and choose a new thought, you're going to get a better feeling emotion. You're going to choose a more positive action, and then you're going to get a more positive result in your life. So once you've examined your negative thought, gone through the process, chosen a new thought that feels more empowering, now you're going to take that thought. And our thought was, I am powerful. I get to decide which way my weight goes. You're going to write it down. I would stick it next to your bedside. Say it before you go to sleep. Program that subconscious mind as you're sleeping. I would stick it on your fridge. I put it in my wallet, right? You want to write it down because even the writing process, we know the energy of taking it out of the body, putting it on paper, helps you follow through on a goal, helps you follow through on that thought process. So you actually are rewiring your brain now. Before, you had a negative thought pattern, a big old highway in your brain. You are going to let that highway atrophy and shrink. And now we're going to rewire our brain for a new narrow pathway. It might feel a little arduous at first that you actually had to try to remember to do it. That's why you want to stick it everywhere. But once you get to this to be your new pattern of thought, that's where your new belief system comes from.
Wow. So, Veronica, I have a copy of your book, Soul Steps, and
I'm so glad.
love it. So, why don't you just
Thank
tell
you.
us how we can get it or how they can get it?
Oh, absolutely. So I co-wrote this book with Natalie Finley, Florence Strang, two fellow educators and now psychologists and spiritual coach. And we decided to write a 52-week journey, 52 ways to reconnect with your spirit, 52 ways to kind of peel back the layers that are covering up who you truly are.
It's very helpful. Wonderful.
Thank you. And you can pick this book up on Chapters. You can get it at Kohl's. You can get it at Amazon.ca, Amazon.com. It's locally here in Corner Brook at a few locations. It's locally in Central, and it's also locally in lots of little shops in St. John's. So you can find it just about anywhere.
So, thank you, Veronica, for coming by today. We're going to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed.